I am a fan of books that have to do with dragons. Anything that's kind of like fantasy in that vein, strange creatures, magic, count me in. So today we're going to talk about a book that everyone is talking about and my thoughts on it, whether I thought it was good or maybe I thought it was just a bunch of smutty smut that was not so good. I don't know. What did I think? I guess you'll have to stick around to find out. Fourth Wing, let's go. The premise of the story is it follows this girl, Violet Sorrengail. Her whole life and schooling was geared towards being a scribe, and she was going to be a scribe, and that's what her father wanted for her. He was a scribe. The mother did not so much want that. She kind of seems like a big butthole, if you ask me, and mean, and a jerk, and a cold, removed shrew of a person. And she runs the school of dragons, where there are the different sectors. You know, you can go to school for dragon riding or being a scribe or a healer. And so Violet's all geared to be a scribe, but then her father passes away and her horrible mother is like, okay, well, you're gonna go to the dragon sector now. And like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And with dragon riding, the only way you graduate is you live through it. A good percentage of the people who go into this, they all die. And Violet is small and kind of frail. The odds are insanely stacked against her. And then you have this whole thing, like they need dragon riders because they've been at war for like 400 years. You'd think they'd be able to sort this crap out, first of all. 400 years is a long time. Can these two different factions like just sit down and hash it out maybe? I don't know. So you have like the dragon riders and they're at war with these people who have wyverns that are these other creatures and whatnot, and they've just been at war forever. So they need to train up their army, and Violet ends up having to go into this dragon sector of the war college. There is people that when they find out who she is, that she's the daughter of General Sorrengail, like they want her dead because her mother is a horrible human. So, you know, the sins of our fathers or our mothers and what have you. And then you come into this also that there's all these other kids who their parents were rebels against this part of the kingdom of Basquiat. They're all marked with these tattoos. The only chance they were given is they have to become dragon riders or that's it. There would be no existence for them. So their parents were all murdered, and so they have like this great animosity towards the Sorrengails. When Violet's going to do her first trial, which is to, all these recruits have to make it across this parapet, which is this like really narrow thing they have to walk across. It's super high up, the wind is insane and whatnot. The other people that are there, if they want, they can just push you off if they get close to you. So it's all about survival. She's been warned by her sister to stay as far away as she can from this guy. His name is Xaden Royerson. His father was killed by Violet's mother. So of course he's the guy like standing up there at the parapet when she's to go across, and you know, he hears who she is and she's immediately like, oh, are you gonna kill me right now? And he's kind of like, no, I'm gonna let the parapet do it to you and whatever. And so you have this whole thing with like she needs to stay away from him, and he's introduced into her life. And the story, literally, it's so addictive. It's such an addictive read. It's fast-paced. Yes, there's dragons. The fact that these people at any moment could die and may not make it through the thing, you know, there's high stakes. There's the whole, like, your mother killed my father, but his father killed her brother. That whole thing going on, and there's all these tensions between people. Underneath it all, there's also these like underlying agendas that everyone seems to have, and things are not as they seem. And so it's about going through this whole school, what happens with her and this Xaden Royerson person. So it's dragons, survival, lust, sex. There's a lot of sex, and there's some pretty hot sex scenes in it. I can't give away too much because it'd be spoilers. Did I like it? I flew through this book. It was one of those ones that I just couldn't put down. I was super into it. I was super into all of it. The story, the characters, even the smut. Sometimes the smut gets to me. I've said this before, like, I don't necessarily like romance, but if you package it in something outside of romance, like horror or fantasy, I do like it. I'm just still trying to fight against the fact that I don't like romance, so. I don't know. Yeah, I thought this book was great. Had a little bit of everything in there. If you want a book that's super fast paced, that's fantasy, that it's like, I don't want to say it's like Twilight with dragons, but, and more death. And it's a little more raunchy. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was super fun. I would recommend it. There are certain people I would recommend it to, but you gotta want some really like break stuff apart, raunchy sex scenes. Because that was a chunk of it. This like electric lustiness that was going on in this book. And I thought it was done well and I thought it was fun. Some of it, yeah, maybe a little cheesy, but overall, it's a good time of a book. And I can't wait till the next one comes out. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. It was a good time. So if you're a fan of fantasy books that have thrills, chills, dragons, romance, next video coming up will be about a book about that. So stick around, check it out. And if you had fun hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.